Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Pat with the Outdoors and Ice Fishing. It's been a while since I posted a video, but I've been seeing a lot of people want to see the mini bike again. We did a snorkel upgrade and the exhaust upgrade and a couple of things, and it hasn't been ran in about a year now. It's been sitting, so I think this is a great opportunity to do a cold start. It's about 41 degrees here in upstate New York. Let's see what she does. Before I even get started here, I got a lot of stuff I got to get out of the way. As you can see, she's been buried in the back, untouched for a while. Let's get to moving some stuff. Alright, let's see how many pulls it takes. Gas was left on. Not good. Prime it. Ooh, she's sticky. I don't know if it's gonna pull over or not. Well, that's promising. I have to screw with the idle here a little bit. She's not happy. Well, it's definitely not the greatest cold start video in the world. I'm not going to make too many excuses. Other than the fact that it has been sitting for a year. Haven't changed the oil in about 2 years. And the last time my dad took it out, ended up taking a spill, which is something I'll get into here with this whole mini bike, ice bike setup. Initially we wanted to make this for the ice to pull the huts out. But unfortunately, if you live in the area I do, you know, we haven't had too much ice these past couple of years. As a matter of fact, it all just disappeared on us again. Went out about 8 times in shallow water because none of the big bodies of water wanted to freeze up, and it started raining and getting up in the 40s, and so there went that. But you know, I do get a lot of questions about the snorkel. Is it worth it? Does it work? What's the point? How did you do it? Yada yada. I guess I'll first off say we decided to do it because if any of you mini bike enthusiasts know, the Stage 2 kit comes with the air filter sticking out right here. And something we noticed testing this thing out on the ice is you get a lot of water everywhere. And I just didn't think that was going to work. I did a little bit of Googling and YouTubing and found a couple videos. You know, nothing that looks like what I did. Similar, but you know, a lot of guys just go straight up with it and goofy stuff. You know, I wanted it to sit up here. It just made the most sense. You know, like a lot of guys will bitch, well, you're not getting the greatest airflow, but I tell you what, this thing is basically wide open with these big old 2-inch PVC pipes that are on it. And I honestly haven't experienced any airflow issues. You know, up here, you got your leg right here, and if anything, your leg's getting wet, you're not sucking in water and screwing up your Predator 212 motor. Another thing I should talk about is, you know, what the heck did we do to this mini bike, and was it easy? Was it a pain in the ass? Was it worth it? And the short answer is yes to all. Probably the easiest thing would be the snorkel. It's kind of just like connecting the dots, you know, just some pipe and getting the angle just right. A lot of people have questions about the clear valve cover that we have on here. You know, I guess if you're wanting to get into modding these things easy and cheap, you know, just like I did when I first started doing this, and I really didn't have much of a interest in mechanical stuff. You know, I'm a low volt electrician by trade, so it's just never been in my wheelhouse, but you know, as soon as I got into it, I was hooked. So when it comes to the clear valve cover, you know, it wasn't the hardest modification. Also wasn't the easiest, and I will say I was a little nervous at one point because the old gasket from the metal valve cover kind of ripped in 100 pieces, and I had to meticulously scrape that gasket off without nicking the, you know, aluminum and dropping stuff in there and screwing it all up. And you know, it kind of made me nervous. Like I said, never really got into mechanical stuff and modifying or anything like that, so I was kind of winging it. Another thing to add is I had to take this rear fender off, or flare, or whatever the hell you call it, to get to that, which not a big deal. It's one bolt right there. You know, does it do anything? No. Is it cool? Yeah. A lot of people look at it and go, that's cool, and that's fun, and that's neat, and you get to see the oil flowing when it warms up and all that. Downside is, you see I got the filter on there, the breather filter. You know, modding this thing out the way I have, haven't really taken all the correct precautions. And you know, I get some high RPMs on this thing. I like to go flat out on it, and you know, you start spitting oil out of that thing pretty well. Um, you know, I have looked into Predator engine, you know, max rev recommendations without doing the billet flywheel and all that, and they say, you know, you want to keep it around 5 grand. And you don't want to go over that because you risk stuff blowing up and things breaking and headaches and nightmares and having to walk this thing all the way home. But yeah, I mean, it was a cool thing to do, and it's not like I regret it or anything. You know, me and my dad do talk about maybe getting rid of this thing because we've learned a couple things about it and this doodle bug frame and what we want it to do and what it's capable of. It's definitely not. It's fun, but it's not right for what we want it to do. You know, rigid frame. It's rough. There's not really horsepower issues per se, but I think we have a torque issue. You know, this thing is full balls as soon as you hit the gas, and you slip and slide, and even with the studded tires, you know, we got the tires studded, and it only does so much. As soon as you hit snow, this thing bogs down, you're slipping, and you know, like I said, the last time my dad took it out, he ended up taking a spill on it. He bent the other peg there, not that one, and broke the crank handle, and some stuff hasn't been quite right with it since. It still runs, but there's some issues. Another thing that we did was the tachometer. You know, no one's really asking about that, but it's right here. Might as well show you what I did. You know, got it from Go Power Sports. It's pretty basic. Wrap the wire around the spark plug cable. You know, fishing around, up, mount it. You know, gives you engine hours and a decent guesstimate on the RPMs. It seems accurate to me. You know, they say that the 212 likes to idle around 1800, and you know, screw with the idle there and get it to 1800. Seems pretty happy. So I'd say it's fairly accurate. I think it was like $12. You know, it was it's an easy modification and useful information. You know, like I said, I'm not trying to blow this thing up or get stuck somewhere, so I definitely keep my eye on the tachometer there. And another thing that we've done is we've minimized this top plate here, you know, for the accelerator. I guess if you guys know your 212s, come with this big ugly plate that sits up here. It's all janky and wonky, and it's not the most direct connection to have. And you know, we've got this again at Go Power Sports, and I'll tell you what, this is probably the hardest thing that we tried to do with this, is get that plate on there. I don't know why, it just fought us tooth and nail, and things weren't right, and you know, we couldn't get it to idle right or go back to idle, or it would stick, or something was too tight, and you know, we fought this thing like hell. But I will say it simplifies everything here. And you know, like I said, we wanted this for the ice, so the less moving parts, because all this, you take one of these out on the ice, you know, it's covered in slush and water, and it's just one less thing to get stuck. It's probably the last thing you want when you're out there. The last modification be this tow hitch my dad's buddy welded on years ago. You know, if you check out my dad's channel, DSO Cowboy, you know, we've had this frame for a long time. This is the third engine that's been on here. You know, screwing around, trying to get this the way we want it. But I guess the idea was, you know, for pulling the huts, we wanted something rigid, you know, something that we learned, and if any of you guys watching this are trying to get something mobile on the ice for the cheap, you know, you don't want to drop a couple $1,000s on an ATV and a trailer and all that fun stuff. You know, that was kind of our idea with this. But don't use rope. Have something rigid. I can't find the piece right now, but my dad manufactured 3 aluminum tubes. One connects here, and the other 2 V back and connect right to the jet sled or the hut or whatever. You know, that way you don't have that slack. You know, like I said, when you hit the snow with these mini bikes, especially the rigid frame and all that, they bog right down, and that weight in the back snaps on you because you pick up your momentum again. You get a big old snap, and that'll pull the wheel right right underneath you, and that's no fun. But yeah, I will say, you know, for right around the street, this thing is fun as hell. I know I've pissed the neighbors off a couple of times with the exhaust. Like I said, I don't baby it. I go, you know, I give it everything she's got, and you get mixed reactions. Some people are rooting you on. Some people are calling the cops, trying to run you down. Which is another thing about it, you know, we don't live in the country. We kind of live on the border of the city, an urban setting, so it's not something we get to enjoy all the time. As you can see, you know, exhaust all rusty and chipped up, and she's all dirty, and you know, it sits a lot. But yeah, I mean, that would be about it for the mini bike. That's kind of the story on it, what we've done and what we've learned. Guess if you guys have any more questions, you know, post them in the comments. And I do apologize for not getting back. I know I've told a couple of guys, you know, I'm going to make a cold start video and talk about the mini bike more. You know, I've just been working and kind of just fell off the YouTube thing for a while, but I'm telling you right now, I'm definitely going to get back into it. Hoping we get more ice this year. I'd like to make some more ice fishing videos, and we got some new gear and some new fishing spots we want to try out, and you know, I'd like to share that with you guys. I will say it was about 24 pulls to start this. Not the greatest cold start video, like I said in the beginning. I'm not gonna make too many excuses. But you know, it fired right up when it did, and you know, it's been so long I forgot to open the choke up. I was screwing around with the idle. You can probably see that in the video, and this thing almost took off on me as soon as I opened that carb up, man. She went right up to 2,500, and I was holding on for dear life. I was about to kill it, but I was fast on the trigger there and idled her down, and she was purring. You know, it's a good motor. You know, I will recommend these to anyone. You know, they're cheap. You can modify the shit out of these things. You know, anything you can think of, you can do with these. It's kind of on your budget and how much time you got to put into it. Future plans, I would say, I think we've had our fun with the rigid doodlebug frame and, you know, the 212, and talking about getting a Coleman frame with suspension and maybe slap a nice 420 on there and really see what kind of fun we can have with it. Like I said, this hasn't quite met the expectation. It's kind of been a burden more than fun or, you know, convenient out on the ice. So future videos, hopefully I'll be showing you guys, you know, a new frame and new motor and new ideas and just having some fun. Well, if you guys like this video, you like my rambling, or you got any more questions, leave a comment, give it a like, and thanks for watching.